Hello, everyone. Welcome to our video about the Tuttle Twins Toddler book launch. Very excited. I should probably get my props for what we're actually here talking about today so that we can walk through it. And excited to be with you guys to talk about these new books and this new format that we're doing. As we've been working on the Tuttle Twins books over the years, of course, we've always had, just our general children's books for the age range of like 5 to 11, and that's what we've always done. Of course, as many of you know, a couple years ago, we started doing books for teens. A few months ago, we published even more books for teens, the guidebooks. In fact, you can see here, this was from one of our past little videos that we did, but we've got all these books that we're creating, and we've been working on this. But when Elijah and I started doing children's books, we both had very young kids, and so we thought over time how fun it would be to do an even younger format as well, and get down to a level of children where we could expose them to some of these fun ideas and some of these concepts even at a younger age. And so today is the official launch of the Tuttle Toddlers books. And so these are hardback board books, right? Indestructible for the little ones. And so I'm going to walk through each of these books, show you what's inside. And then we have a special guest joining us right after that. And so if you've got questions about these books or about Tuttle Twins in general, make sure to type them in the chat, and we will bring your question on the video. And the special guest and I, our illustrator, can through those questions with you. So take a minute here and talk about why we're doing this, and then show you the inside of the book so that you guys can see a little sneak peek. I'm actually very excited. So we've got Marco here. This is kind of cool. I can bring your comments on. Marco does our Tuttle Twins books in Italy. So they help translate the books into Italy. So Marco, good to see you. And then where's the one? And then we got Enno here from Germany. He translates all the Tuttle Twins books into German and is rocking it out there. So excited to see some of my friends here join. We got a lot of folks on that are our friends and supporters. So we have you, and very excited that we're launching our Tuttle Toddlers book. So why do these books? Well, again, we do these books because what we were finding is that there were little kids who were reading siblings, the main Tuttle Twins books, or just lookers and things like that, and they're of interest for these young kids. But the storybooks, maybe they're a little bit over their head. They're rich stories with lots of terms, and we thought there's definitely interest from a young age. There's definite attention. They're lending their attention. They're interested in it, but maybe we can simplify this even further. And so, and I apologize, sounds like the video is being really choppy. So we'll do as best as we can. Because I don't think that I can set things right now. So hopefully this doesn't end up being too bad. So bear with us, and hopefully the video improves. It's actually saying that I've got one bar, which is weird since I'm just on our Wi-Fi. So apologize if the video is choppy. But what I'm going to do really quick is bring on the actual images and show you guys some of what we are doing, so you can see the fun quality that's inside these books and what we're doing. And so this is one of the first books. This is the Tuttle Toddlers, the ABCs of the American Revolution. So this is showing you the cover of the book so that you can see what's on it. And then I'm just going to walk you through really quick what's inside so that you can see some of these drawings. So we've got, you can see kind of the format here, like your typical ABC board book, but obviously we're taking advantage, as is our style, to teach some really substantive ideas, right? Where this is something that's going to have an appeal for the older kids as well, and for the adults. We often get asked, about our different books, what are the age range? And we always kind of give an approximate age range, right? But we find that a much older age and a much younger age are also very interested in reading these materials, and so we hesitate to say this is the precise age that it's for. So these are toddler books, but in reality, the older kids and even the adults are going to find some enjoyment and education in them as well. So again, this is American Revolution, right? So Articles of Confederation. B is for Boston Tea Party. C is for Continental Congress. Declaration of Independence. E is for the Enlightenment. And so as you can see, each page, we're using a term, but then we're also given a little description about what that term is, just so that there's more learning. Now, obviously, if it's 3-year-old or 2-year-old flipping through this book, that's not going to be as useful as it is for the 6-year-old sibling that's listening along. So we're trying to do things that are inclusive of a broad age range. We got F is for Founding Fathers. G is for Washington. A little bit of information about each of them. H is for Hessians. Fun little cute drawing of Ethan and Emily. Many people I've found don't actually know that British Empire used paid mercenaries. These are the Hessians. They were basically hired guns to fight the colonists. I is the Intolerable X. J, just tradition. Really cool illustrations. K is King George III. As a reminder for those who are just joining us, we're going to be joined in just a few minutes by the illustrator Elijah, and he and I are going to answer any questions that you have. And so take advantage of the opportunity as you're looking through these. If you've got questions or curiosities or anything, feel free to post those comments, and we will try to answer those for you. L is for Loyalists, Minutemen, Militia, Native Americans. I don't know that I need to read each one of these. You guys are able to read, so I can just kind of scan through and show you guys what we're doing. Quartering redcoats. We hit 2 letters with one term there. I think that's the Third Amendment, right? That can't quarter soldiers anymore. S is for Stamp Act, the T Act, showing early union. A lot of conversation opportunities here with kids as you talk about these ideas. This one simple thing, Valley Forge, V is for Valley Forge, can launch you into going and looking up, all kinds of YouTube videos and downloadable things online and all kinds of educational things. Even just reading the Wikipedia page so that you can learn what's going on. W is for written assistance, and then X is off hard. We had to figure out what to do with X. X is for 10 years, so the 10-year span from the first conflict began, the Yorktown siege, and then huzzah! So that's the history book. So that's again the ABC of the American Revolution. All right, let me walk you through the other ones really quick, and now I'm going to bring on. Let's do ABCs of Liberty next. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. So this is one of our 3 books that we're putting out today. These are all different liberty principles: freedom of association, autonomy, even relevant for a 2 or 3 who doesn't want hugs when you want to give them hugs. And it's guys, it's telling me I have a bad internet connection, even though I have a great one. So again, I apologize for those of you who are getting choppy video. Hopefully some of you are seeing this okay. C is for consent, very related to bodily autonomy, due process, equality under the law, free market. You guys will kind of recognize that concept from the Miraculous Pencil book, the Golden Rule. We talk about that as well. Hitting 3 letters in once here: happiness, individual rights, justice, very kind of interrelated concepts. K is for knowledge. Knowledge is very important. Truth is very important to liberty, of course. Limited government. That was a fun drawing. M is for sound money. You can't have liberty if the money's being debased, if the Federal Reserve is stealing from people. And that's happening at all right now, right? This is for the NAP. You can see, no, not that kind of nap, the non-aggression principle. It's an acronym, right, for the non-aggression principle. We should not be aggressors against other people. Here we have two interrelated concepts as well, ownership and private property, both very foundational for liberty. We have to question things. We have responsibility. Some lemmings maybe doing the wrong thing here. S is for self-defense, trust, unity. Can't have liberty without voluntary exchange, of course. We need to have sensual relationships. W is for work. We have to put in the work to have liberty. Negative rights, again, trying to be creative in how we get that X. X is for negative rights. Liberty is about us, our individuality, and the zeal we have to be free. Cool. All right, so that's liberty. Let me bring on the next one, which is ABC of economics. All right, here we go. So this is the third final one that I'm going to show you today. The ABCs of economics. A is for assets. B is for bank. Competition, right? Think of the description here, right? Businesses are in a contest to see who can serve you better. We call it competition, but they're trying to serve us better than other people. It's amazing. The market's amazing. D is for demand and supply and demand, but creative with the D. Entrepreneurship, the Federal Reserve. You guys will recognize that from our Creature from Jekyll Island book. G for gold. And then we got Ludwig von Mises, human action. Talks a lot about incentives. We talk about that in the Messed Market book, right? That's based on human action by Ludwig von Mises. And so we talk about him here as one of Austrian or free market economics. And the arch nemesis of free market economics, you might call him or consider him to be John Maynard Keynes. Keynesian economics is very pro-government. It's stimulus. It's printing money. That's best represented by Keynes, father of pro-government, big government economics. Laissez-faire. We got, of course, the market, needs and wants, right? Economics is all about the things that we need and scarcity, and we're trying to buy. And there's a opportunity cost, right? You can buy something doing other things. That's the opportunity cost. We build wealth and businesses to pursue prosperity. That's kind of the point. This is a super fun drawing. Q is for quantitative easing. What 2-year-old is being exposed to quantitative? What 20-year-olds? What 60-year-olds know what quantitative easing is? Now, to your kids out there understand that's the Jekyll Island. They're using a sneaky word to hide the fact that they're stealing from us, that they're inflating our money and stealing our wealth. So we have to be on guard about these terms. R is regulations, right? Very hard to have economy if it's overburdened with all these rules and restrictions. S is for specialization. T is for taxes, another fun drawing here. Do not resist. U is for utility and value. Some very, very important economic concepts. W is for wealth. We got the X and Y axis. So as missed naps increase, so too do the tantrums, right? Some economic charts. Then that chart made the twins sleepy. So again, being creative here. So hope you guys enjoyed that little walkthrough. Again, those are now available today. I'll put this up on the screen in just a minute, but you're going to want to go to TuttleTwins.com/toddler, and that is where you can book books, but then you can also see some of the pictures inside them as well, like the ones that I just showed you. So let's put that up on the screen so that you have access to that. TuttleTwins.com/toddler. Those are now shipping. Some of you remember that we did a pre-order a couple weeks ago. I believe we've shipped all of them now, and so we still have some copies available to immediately. You guys place your order today. we do only have a limited supply because we or pre-order, and there were a lot of pre-orders, and so you want to make sure that you play soon. Okay, so let's bring on Elijah and get to you. Hopefully you guys can even hear us, because technology, but not when it work, and I think the video is being a little choppy for some of you, so again, apologize, but provided that you can still hear and understand us, we're going to bring Elijah on and see if I can do that. Hey, Elijah.
Hello.
All right.
How am I coming through? Am I all choppy too? Probably.
I don't know. I look fine to me, and you look fine to me, but other people are saying that we were choppy before, so we'll see. We'll give it a go, and find a different platform if this one is a stinker. But Elijah, super excited to have you here. Happy launch day for the Toddlers. Tell us a little bit about what it was like to illustrate these books.
Well, it was great. I mean, at first I wasn't quite sure how we do it, but you know, as I started, I did I started with Liberty, I believe, ABCs of Liberty, and by the time I got to C, I realized that this was going to be the best thing that anyone's ever done. These are just great. We're really, you know, with the main series, we take these big economics and philosophy books, and we, you know, water them down and simplify them to, you know, 58 pages or something like that, and which is really effective in getting detailed explanations of these concepts. But when we're trying to boil these things down to 1 or 2 sentences, and then we have the limitations of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, that's a difficult task. And what it actually does is it concentrates those ideas and makes them very powerful. So freedom of association, right? If we can, in 1 or 2 sentences explain freedom of association, most people would agree, yeah, we have the right to associate or not associate with other people. But these are actually the big questions of the ages. These aren't just simple like ideas. They seem so, but they're actually the core principles of a free society. And bodily autonomy. Do we own ourselves, or does someone else own us? And you'll find that most people in the world have been fooled somehow to believe that, no, someone else owns my body, when you get down to it. But these are the principles that I believe in, and I know that you believe in. Consent. Everyone says they believe in consent, but do they really? So by the time I got to C, I realized that these books can change the world. If people actually got these seeds of truth planted in their brain, you can't really forget them. I mean, they're so powerful. So I got excited immediately when with these things.
Awesome. Elijah, your connection, people are saying, is better than mine, so I'm going to let you do more of the talking so that people can enjoy this video more than my choppiness, apparently. So I'll tee you up with questions and kind of pick your brain. So when you illustrate these books, you often try and, you know, put Easter eggs in or help visualize these complex principles. Walk us through how you try and figure out how to draw some of these complex ideas. What goes through your mind as you try to figure out how to illustrate and portray these ideas?
Well, that's something I've been training myself to do for almost 20 years as a animator and video producer. For before I started Tuttle Twins, that was kind of what my job was, is to take these dry or abstract ideas and kind of make them interesting and easy for people to understand. So I kind of got a knack for it now, and I'm glad that I'm able to, you know, apply it to the things I'm passionate about with your writing. So let's see. It's just a lot of brainstorming with myself, you know, just starting with ideas, and some of them aren't working out, and then adjusting or starting from scratch. And one that was actually really difficult to do for me was prosperity. And I didn't want to just draw people with money or something like that, because that's not really what prosperity is. But I wanted to show how we got prosperity. I think we were actually playing with having that first be profit before it was prosperity. Okay,
Right.
so it's kind of a mixed concept here, and as people work toward their own betterment of their own life, they realize that they have to build society for other people. That's how you obtain wealth in our new world. Before, when we were just empires warring with one another, we had to go and steal other people's resources. But now we've realized that in order, a better way is to trade with each other. And as we do that, we actually not only better our own lives, but to better our own lives, we have to build up society for others. So that one took me a while to chew out, and I thought that the end result was really cool.
So you said you kind of brainstorm, with yourself. Talk about like how many iterations you go through. Do you feel like when you illustrate these, like I'll use an example of, entrepreneur, right? You've got the entrepreneur one, and you start with an idea, you come up with a plan, and then you do it. This has a very kind of like logical process to it. Like there's information in this illustration. Do you go through a lot of revisions, or how do you end up with an illustration like this?
Well, I want it to be simple, but I want it also to be different than the others. So in the economics one, almost every drawing could be like someone like swimming in a money bin full of money, gold or something like that, But I want to get down to the core idea of what that one principle is about. And what is an entrepreneur? It could be someone having a lemonade stand, but I already drew a lemonade stand somewhere else. An entrepreneur is someone that has a new idea, and then they get a plan and they work toward it and execute it. And that plan is to better society again. So all of these things are interconnected. So I got to boil the idea down to why is this one different? Why is this one not just Scrooge in his money bin? So I think that one was, I came across that concept a little quicker because we had done the showcase one. And so you had already kind of laid out what an entrepreneur is. It's those things. And
yep.
So yeah.
Awesome. Another thing that's been really fun for us in doing these books is something I touched on earlier, and that is the broad age range, right? Here we are doing toddler books, and any other toddler book is very simplistic. It's A is for apple, B is for bear, and that's great for the toddler, but it's extremely beneath, any child 1 year above that. Talk to me from your perspective about why it's been so important for us to have materials that have these broad age ranges of interest to them, rather than just doing G is for gold and then leave it at that, right? The fact that we're doing not only complex terms in some cases, but then having these descriptions, having illustrations that convey, different ideas that the parent or the older child can learn from. Why do you think, or what has been your perspective on having that kind of broad age focus?
Well, just like with our other books, yes, they're for children and now for toddlers, and these ideas can be taught to them and really navigate the course of their life with these principles. But if we look around the world today, it's obvious that people have never even heard of these concepts really, or much less have them explained to them in this way. So yeah, these ABC books could be given to an old politician, and hopefully would change their mind, but how politicians are. But these are really powerful core ideas, the foundational principles of a free society, the big philosophical and economic questions of the ages of should people be free or should people be controlled? And so
of all the times for us to put out content that addresses those key questions, what better time than now?
Right. So, I mean, if we could get the ABCs of liberty and economics, I mean, the people that live in the United States, the revolution one is interesting, but those other two, we've got to get those to everyone on the planet. And I think things could change if people understood those foundational principles.
And it's interesting. I shared in an email this morning and on my own Facebook page a couple days ago that there's this school in my community, elementary school, where they had plastered the wall with these ABCs of like woke, social justice, leftist activism, right? W is for woke, S is for social justice, Y is for yes, we can, which of course has no political connotation at all to it, right? Like,
where'd that come from?
A is for activism, and I shared that because like you and I have faced some limited criticism over the years about creating, propaganda, about trying to indoctrinate kids. And it's been very minor. I think probably you would agree that we anticipated a lot more opposition than we've actually had. So it's been very minor. But from time to time, as we did just a couple days ago, we had on Instagram someone complaining that we were trying to indoctrinate kids. And my response, and I want to get your take on this, now that we're entering an even younger age with toddler books, right? That criticism may pop up again once or twice here. And my response has been, as evidenced by that school in my community that just did that, it's not indoctrination in the negative sense of the word. It's a recognition that there are people out there who want to influence your children with ideas that go against your family values, that go against your beliefs, that go against the ideas of a free society, the principles of truth, right? Those forces, those people, those agendas are out there. And parents need to be woke to that reality and recognize that if they don't shield their children from those, or at least give them a foundation upon which they can test those ideas they hear and understand them, they're going to be a blank slate. They're going to be a sponge. They're just going to accept as truth what they hear from the teacher about why it's important to, to be less white, like Coca-Cola is now saying, right? And to be anti-racist. Well, of course we should be anti-racist. Oh, but actually that has like a meaning other than not being racist. It's beating yourself up because you're white and you're a horrible person because of your ancestors and whatnot. And so those influences are out there. They're in the elementary schools, for heaven's sake. And so if you think about the word indoctrination, it's really just to teach doctrine, right? It has the negative connotation to it as well when you're doing it to the exclusion of all competing ideas and right, not kind of having a big picture understanding about other thoughts and perspectives and whatnot. But it's really to teach doctrine or truth. And so we should all be indoctrinating, our children in a sense against false ideas and bad influences. Propaganda is really just the propagation of ideas. Of course, it has a negative connotation, and rightly so. However, the root of the word, the true understanding, we as parents should be propagating these ideas. And what you and I found when we started this project is there are so many parents who have wanted to indoctrinate or teach or propagate these ideas to their children, but they lacked the vocabulary. They lacked the understanding themselves. They didn't feel confident about how to talk about these ideas. They themselves probably didn't understand the ideas very well, but they espoused the core ideas enough to want to not only understand them better themselves, but then convey them to their children. And so here we are doing toddler books. We're reaching for a younger age, but we're not meaning to say that, you shouldn't expose your children to other ideas. It's that those other ideas are out there and your children are being and will be exposed to them. Why would you not want to teach them the foundational principles of liberty, right? Free market economics and true history. And if you're not going to make that effort, then your children are going to learn all kinds of junk from peers and the internet and textbooks and schools and whatnot, that you're going to wake up one day and be like, what the heck? Like, who's been filling your head with that nonsense? So I rambled a bit, but Elijah, share with me your thought about, now we're embarking upon an even younger age. Is this just propaganda for little ones?
Well, I mean, as you said, yes. in the positive sense, like you said, the reality is that this world is full of ideas, and that's a good thing. We need to have lots of ideas. We need to have people chewing on these ideas and thinking and debating. And that school teacher, that was with the W is for woke and S is for social justice, she thought that those were truths. She thought those were right. And she's not being devious. She's just trying to teach the kids what she thinks is right. But you as a parent, it's your responsibility to teach those things. And we're in a world with many ideas, and you need to decide if that's what you want to teach your kids. Then you should do that. But if you want to teach your kids about freedom and about the principles of a free society, and you have benefited from those and you love liberty, then you've got to teach your kids, because they're going to be taught something. They're going to be propagated by indoctrination from something. So you've got to do it. Otherwise, they'll just go to someone else for that information. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
So these are great tools to do that, though.
Well, so again, for those who have joined late, today is the official launch date for our new Toddler books. You can check them out at the link right there, TuttleTwins.com/toddler. You can still get the intro price. Michelle, we got to give a little shout out to Tess here. Michelle's saying, who creates your memes? Almost every day I'm screenshotting to send to my contacts. So that's Tess, who does our social media. She's doing an amazing job with the spicy memes. So give her a little shout out there. Here's Nicole saying her elementary school kids were required to read Anti-Racist Baby. We got Monica already got the books, saying her toddler loves them already. Heather's saying, I'm glad to see the descriptions. I'll have my oldest read them to the little ones so he can learn it without feeling like he's learning from a baby book. Exactly, Heather. Exactly, right? You ask your 8-year-old to read to the 3-year-old or whatever, right? And you're learning about needs, but then they're understanding some of these ideas with more depth, right? The toddler can focus just on needs and saying the word and recognizing the letter, but your older kids are going to be able to get a lot of information out of the description. Amanda says they got theirs already in love. Let's see, either Ken or Kristen loves the books, learning alongside their kids, sharing knowledge with their friends, waking up the sleepers. Sabrina can't wait to read to her 7-week-old. That's awesome. We got Jean, her set already arrived, reading them to her 10-month-old. Favorite is the image of the Federal Reserve. Elijah, I think that's going to be a pretty a fan favorite, right? Let's see, Michelle, looking forward to reading with the little nephews. Awesome. Well, guys, this has been fun. Today is the launch day again. Make sure that you head to TuttleTwins.com/toddler. It looks like my internet connection is better now. So as we wrap up here, Elijah, I'll probably let you go. And then for the benefit of those who have newly joined us in the last 10 or 15 minutes, I'll pull up the images once again. So if you didn't see at the beginning of the video or the connection was poor, I'll show you actually what's inside these books. so that you can wet your whistle a little bit and see what you want to do. Elijah, final words about these books and this new format, if you want to share anything before you go.
Well, I mean, I'm really excited about these ones more than anything we've done so far for the reason I explained before, is that we boil these down to the core ideas of a free society into 1 or 2 sentences. And when you put those ideas into someone's brain, you really can't forget them, because these are really what makes civilization possible, and what it connects with our humanity. So I just encourage everyone to, not only get these books, but these are books that I want to just litter the world with. I just want to just get them everywhere, because these seeds are so powerful, and I really think that we can change the world with these ideas if we get them into enough people's hands.
Well said. And for the benefit of those watching, we've got our children's books, and we're working on number 12 right now. In fact, Elijah, we're going to let him go so we can go get back to work and keep drawing for number 12. We're working on the 12th book right now. We're also working on a 4th book for teens, our Choose Your Consequence novel format for teens. We've got our new guidebooks that we just launched just a few months ago for preteens and up. We've now got these toddler books. And guys, the market works. And so we listen to market signals. If something doesn't sell very much, then that to us is a signal that, okay, maybe that's not the right format. So Elijah and I have plans for additional board books that we're very excited about, but we're not going to execute on any of those plans until we wait and see how launch goes and if the audience is really jazzed, as we anticipate they will be. The pre-order sale, as I said, was pretty robust. And so if you're interested in this format, if you got little ones in your life, if you want even your older kids, like I think it was Heather saying that, reading to the younger kids and walking through some of these descriptions, make sure to head to TuttleTwins.com/toddler, grab your books, send us that signal that you want more content like this, because we do have plans for additional toddler books down the road if our audience and if customers like this format and if we're seeing that it works. And so, Elijah, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you for all you do and being able to join us today. We'll let you get back to work, and I will take a minute here to walk those of you who are more recently joining us through a couple or through, I guess, all 3 of the books. Let's get that on screen so that you can see. It looks like my connection's much better now for whatever happened. All right, so we are going to start with the ABCs of Liberty, it looks like. And again, for those of you who recently joined, this is going to show you what's actually inside these books when you get them, right? So we're doing ABCs of Liberty. Here I've got my hard copy. Again, these are the hard board back format, but we're going to show you here what's inside so that you can see all the terms and that you can see exactly what we're going to be teaching your kids. So these are all the different liberty principles, right? Free market, golden rule. I mean, just the quality of the illustrations alone are worth getting these books, you guys. Your kids are going to love them. We got a lot of terms packed in that one. Again, these illustrations have meaning. They help visualize and describe the exact things we're talking about. They reinforce the ideas very well. And so definitely worth getting your hands on. Knowledge, limited government, sound money, the NAP, the non-aggression principle, cute little drawing, ownership, private property. We got to question what we're told. We need to have personal responsibility for ourselves. I'm seeing people in the chat saying they're already ordering their books. So yeah, today's launch day. Again, intro price right now, I believe it's $19.99 for all 3 of them at a discount. This is the same price that we offered for the pre-order. So we've kept that intro price for the launch today. So go grab that at the intro price before we raise it back up. Final drawing here for the ABCs of Liberty. Figuring out what to do for X is always very tricky, but we make it work. Okay, so that is the ABCs of Liberty. Let me now take a quick second to show you the ABCs of the American Revolution. So let's bring that one up on screen. Here we go. All right, we got the ABCs of the American Revolution. The Boston Tea Party. See, Elijah's got the correct history drawn in here. They were all, not all, but a lot of them were dressed up as Native Americans. They're trying to act under deception. Cool little sunset, the Enlightenment. Again, as I said earlier, the benefit here is that these are simple terms. We've boiled them down to their essence. We're teaching some of the fundamental issues, but any one of these can launch you and your family into going and researching and learning more about any of these ideas. There's so much opportunity to use this as a springboard for going and learning about those other topics and getting more depth from these ideas. And so if your child shows particular interest in any one of these concepts, boom, you've got a hook. Use this book as the hook to then go research more in depth. Okay, well, what is the justice war tradition? Which past religious leaders and philosophers, right? What's an unjust war? What are examples of wars? Like, there's so many questions to be asked based on the introductory exposure that we're giving in these books and the kind of aid it is to you and your family to point you in the direction of some of these core ideas. I got someone in the chat asking how much to buy all of your books. If you mean all 3 of these Toddler books, the intro price is $19.99 today. So you're going to use that link over in the other corner, TuttleTwins.com/toddler. Make sure you're grabbing that today before the price goes up. If you're asking all of our books, you'll just have to go to the website, add them to your cart, and figure that out because I can't do math on the fly. I can, but might not be accurate. Quartering redcoats. Can you imagine how awful that must have been? I can't. Stamp Act, Tea Act, Union, Valley Forge. I mean, go learn the story of Valley Forge and read some of the journals, and there's videos recreating it. Like, there's so much information to learn about these ideas. Writs of assistance, right? The ability of redcoats to go search through your stuff, search through your home just because they had this piece of paper that authorized them to go through anyone's home. That is the whole reason we have the Fourth Amendment. So then what is the Fourth Amendment and what was it meant to protect against? And oh my gosh, today the NSA is spying on all of us. And these ideas have enduring relevance. And so this book can be the hook for your children to want to learn more and spark a curiosity about some of these ideas. I mean, those dates alone, going through all these things that happened. Again, there's a lot of opportunity here for the education of your children, whether you're homeschooling or public schooling. I guarantee you most of these ideas, especially from the Economics and Liberty book, are not being taught in schools. If anything, quite the opposite is being taught. And so let's then end with the ABCs of economics. I will bring that one on screen for you to see. There we go. So ABCs of economics. This is the 3rd book in the trio of the launch today. Assets, bank, back when, a savings account could actually earn you interest, unlike today. But again, there's an economic lesson there. Why are interest rates basically zero and negative in some cases? Why aren't we able to earn money in a savings account? We talk to our kids about this quite a bit. There's a lot of economic learning opportunities that can happen here. Get the little lemonade stand, prices going up because there's a lot of demand and only a little bit of supply. You can see baby toddler Ethan there freaking out about how little lemonade there is left to get. There's not a lot of supply, but there's a lot of demand. Again, pay attention to the illustrations. They're reinforcing these ideas and teaching what these concepts are all about. Federal Reserve. We got gold and Ludwig von Mises. Again, we based our most recent Tuttle Twins children's book off of one of his books, Human Action, which is H there. John Maynard Keynes, like throwing money out of a helicopter. Father of Keynesian pro-government economics. Laissez-faire, the market, what are needs and wants, understanding why we buy things, why we trade, what scarcity is, opportunity cost. Like, what 3-year-old in the world is learning what an opportunity cost is, right? What congressmen even understand that? What adults? I mean, you guys are tip of the spear here in leading an education revolution in the rising generation, even understanding, even knowing about these terms and ideas, let alone understanding them and being able to apply them and support laws and policies and whatnot that are faithful to them. You guys, I mean, we consider ourselves very fortunate to be producing this. I hope you guys recognize how special and needed some of this material is and how much of a benefit it is to your families by having access to information like this that really you're not going to find anywhere else. I mean, quantitative easing, talk to your friend over the dinner table or at the office water cooler what quantitative easing is, and now kids can understand regulations, specialization. I love the taxes one. That's one of my favorite. That's what it feels like about this time of year, filing taxes, right? Utility. I mean, these basic core important economic terms, diminishing marginal utility, each one. We got value, we got wealth, we got our X and Y axis, and we got our chart. Okay, so just did that again because a lot of you joined late and my connection earlier was poor for whatever reason. I apologize for that. But again, to recap and review, today is the launch. And as Kenny here is saying in the chat, his kids know more about Austrian free market economics than his friends, adults, do. That is the benefit of the Tuttle Twins books. Michelle can't wait to share these with her 10 and 12-year-old. We're all going to learn things, right? These are toddler books. But Michelle is right? The older kids are going to learn. The adults are going to learn. That is the amazing power of the Tuttle Twins books. We're making kids books. We're now making toddler books. We got teen books. But in reality, it's for all ages. And we intentionally design these materials to make sure that they have a very broad interest level and engagement level, no matter the age. The cutesy drawings and the simple letters and most of the terms, right? The little toddlers, they're going to be able to practice saying them and practice their letters. But there's content in here and there's stuff in the illustrations that are going to be of value to the older children as well. And so again, head to TuttleTwins.com/toddler. I just took that down. And today you can still get the intro pricing from our pre-order for all 3 books, right? Before the price goes up. And so yeah, we're very excited. So I believe we've shipped now all of the pre-order copies. And so if you already ordered these in a pre-order, you either have yours or they're on the way. And for those of you who didn't get the pre-order, no worries. Today is the same price, and you can lock in your purchase for that same price as well. So again, today is not a pre-order. Today is just a purchase. The books are ready to ship. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. We wanted to give you a little sneak peek of everything inside these books so that you could see exactly what we're teaching to the younger kids, but to the kids, frankly, of all ages. Some really fun drawings. As Elijah said earlier, core concepts of a strong and prosperous and just society. And imagine, I mean, just the ABCs of liberty, like if every member of Congress got one of these. And by the way, I'm toying with the idea of doing a little campaign this summer where we do a big crowdfunding thing to send Tuttle Twins books to like every congressman and state legislator in the whole country. Be a very, very big project. Maybe we don't do it, but it's something that I'm toying with and looking on the back of the napkin to see how it would all work. But yeah, imagine if elected officials understood these core ideas, like the world would be just amazing. And so we're very excited at a minimum to get them into your home. We'll worry about Congress later. And so if you're watching, you don't have these yet, head to TuttleTwins.com/toddler. Make sure you go get your books. We'll get them shipped to you. Thank you all for your support. We're very excited to keep pumping out more content. Elijah and I have big plans for a lot more content to come. But again, we do this based off of what the market is saying. So our attention focuses on where our audience wants us to be producing more content. So this is an experiment. This is a new format for us and a new kind of lower age. And so if this is of interest to you, show it by making that purchase. Head to TuttleTwins.com/toddler, buy some gifts for friends. This could be fun little gifts for baby showers, right? And take advantage of the intro price and grab those books. So hope you all have an awesome day.